Asheville leaders are warning residents to brace for tough budget decisions as the city faces a projected $30 million gap.
That shortfall could lead to higher taxes, higher fees, and possible service cuts.
News 13's Elijah Skipper sat down with Asheville's finance director today to break down what's driving the gap. So Elijah, what did he share?
I spoke with Tony McDowell, who says this isn't a deficit right now, but an early warning sign as Asheville plans for next year. City finance leaders are projecting a $30 million gap driven by rising cost and one-time money used last year. Well, that's now gone. He says closing it will likely mean some mix of spending cuts and new revenue.
We typically have a budget gap every year when we start the process. This year was just a little bit larger than normal.
That larger than normal gap, $30 million, is what Asheville leaders are now working to close as they begin planning for next year's budget.
I think it's one of the more difficult budget processes, for sure. I think partly because this is really kind of year two of the challenges. You know, Helene made it challenging last year. We made some reductions, and now we've got to go through the same thing again.
Last year, the city relied on one-time fixes like disaster loan funding and temporary cuts. Now those options are gone, while costs continue to rise. Healthcare alone is expected to add $5 to $6 million. Transit services are being rebid, and voter-approved bonds from 2024 will soon require about $6.5 million in new debt payments.
You know, there's going to have to be some combination, most likely, of continued budget reductions along with potentially some revenue enhancements along the way.
Personnel salaries and benefits make up roughly 60% of Asheville's general fund, making staffing one of the biggest pressure points.
We're evaluating everything at this point, and so looking at potential service reductions. We don't anticipate there being layoffs or anything like that. We may look at some of our vacant positions. We actually implemented a hiring freeze a few weeks ago.
On the revenue side, McDowell says property taxes account for about half of the city's general fund.
Increases to the property tax rate, we try to minimize that. It's a revaluation year this year. And so we're looking at all options like that.
Another concern, Asheville's financial reserves. McDowell says the city dipped below its internal 15% fund balance target, a threshold closely watched by credit rating agencies. He says moving forward, protecting that reserve will be a major priority as council works to close the gap.
I think it's definitely very important for city council and staff as well to hear, you know, what residents think, what their priorities are, and let that be a part of the budget process.
City Council begins its formal budget discussions Tuesday with a public comment scheduled. A proposed budget is expected in May with a final vote scheduled for June.